Today, we're diving deep into one of the most famous financial fraud stories in modern American history. You've heard the legend, you've seen the movie, but the truth behind Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, is bigger, stranger, and darker than Hollywood ever showed. This is not just a story about a charismatic stockbroker. It's the story of how one man built a system designed to manipulate people's dreams, drain their bank accounts, and reshape an entire generation's understanding of greed. And the craziest part? Much of it happened in plain sight. Get ready for a detailed journey into the mechanics, psychology, and consequences of one of the largest retail investor scams of the 1990s. This is the real story behind the Wolf of Wall Street. Chapter 1: The Rise. Jordan Belfort didn't start as a financial genius. He began as a young man hungry for money, status, and power. After a failed attempt selling meat and seafood door to door, he discovered Wall Street. The energy, the chaos, the possibility of earning millions. It consumed him instantly. But his dream was cut short when the firm he worked for collapsed during the 1987 market crash. Then came the turning point. He found a small brokerage firm dealing in penny stocks. Cheap, unknown, often worthless. But there was a catch. Brokers earned 50% commission on selling them. Belfort realized something. If he couldn't control Wall Street, he could build his own version of it. And that's where Stratton Oakmont was born. Chapter 2: Stratton Oakmont's System. Stratton Oakmont looked like a legitimate Wall Street operation. Expensive suits, fancy offices, hundreds of employees. But behind the scenes, it ran on a simple formula: hype, pressure, and manipulation. The salespeople weren't financial professionals. Many were young, inexperienced, or had no background in finance at all. Belfort trained them personally, teaching them a script designed to override a client's logic and make them say yes. The method was aggressive: build excitement, build trust, and then strike hard. This was the famous straight line system, a technique that forced clients down a narrow path until they agreed to buy stock. The firm targeted normal, everyday people: teachers, doctors, retirees, people who wanted to invest but didn't know how. And once they trusted Stratton Oakmont, the real scam began. Chapter 3: The Pump. Here's the heart of Belfort's operation: the pump and dump scheme. Stratton Oakmont would secretly buy huge amounts of a worthless penny stock. Then the brokers would call thousands of clients, pushing the stock with outrageous claims. This is the next Microsoft. The company is about to explode in value. If you miss this, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. Clients believed them. They poured in money, and as demand soared, the stock price skyrocketed. This was the pump. Investors celebrated. They thought they were becoming rich, but they didn't know the truth. They were only enriching Belfort and the people at the top. Chapter 4: The Dump. After the stock price rose high enough, Stratton Oakmont's insiders sold all of their shares at the peak. And when they sold, the price collapsed instantly. The clients, the regular people, were left holding worthless shares. Their life savings were gone, homes lost, retirement ruined, college funds wiped out. Meanwhile, Stratton Oakmont made tens of millions of dollars in a single day. Belfort spent the money on mansions, yachts, drugs, parties, and anything he can imagine. His world looked unstoppable, but cracks were forming. Chapter 5: The Culture of Chaos. Inside Stratton Oakmont, the environment wasn't professional. It was chaotic, lawless, and dangerous. The pressure to sell was intense. Employees competed against each other for money and status. The wild stories shown in the movie were real: reckless behavior, ego battles, and constant celebration. This wasn't a financial company. It was a pressure cooker fueled by greed. And while brokers believed they were untouchable, law enforcement had quietly begun to watch. Chapter 6: The Fall. The FBI and SEC slowly pieced together the truth. They tracked phone calls, monitored trades, and interviewed former employees. Stratton Oakmont had made hundreds of millions of dollars through manipulation. Investigators found evidence of fraud, money laundering, and market tampering. Belfort tried to hide assets, used offshore accounts, but the system he built was too big to stay hidden forever. In 1999, the government finally shut Stratton Oakmont down. Jordan Belfort was arrested, charged, and later sentenced to prison. Many of the victims never recovered financially. Families struggled for years, and the damage spread across the entire penny stock market. Chapter 7. Aftermath. After his release, Belfort reinvented himself as a motivational speaker and author. Some people saw him as a genius. Others saw him as a symbol of greed without remorse. The movie The Wolf of Wall Street made him even more famous, but the real victims rarely received attention. For them, Belfort's success was a painful reminder of what they lost. The government recovered only a small portion of the money. Many families never saw compensation. For them, the story wasn't entertainment. It was trauma. Chapter 8. The Lesson. The Wolf of Wall Street saga is more than just a crime story. It's a lesson. It shows how easily people could be manipulated when money and dreams are involved. It reveals the importance of regulation, transparency, and skepticism. And it reminds us that financial knowledge is protection. Belfort wasn't a mastermind of finance. He was a mastermind of persuasion. He sold the idea of easy money. He sold trust. And in doing so, he built one of the largest retail scams of his era. The real Wolf of Wall Street wasn't powerful because of money. He was powerful because people believed in him. And once belief collapses, everything collapses. This has been the true story behind the real Wolf of Wall Street. A story of greed, manipulation, and the human cost of chasing wealth without limits.